If you're an entrepreneur, business owner, investor, and you like to talk about a topic that nobody else likes, money, then you're in the right place. Welcome to Leandro Monteiro's channel, a channel created specifically for us to talk about opportunities, because opportunities always come disguised as problems. And when you turn on the television, go on the vast internet, or check your social media feeds, there's often a relentless flood of pressing problems, a veritable deluge of truly disheartening and challenging bad news that can feel overwhelming. But here on Leandro Monteiro's channel, you'll see how we turn those news stories into opportunities. Because just like me, I'm sure you're the kind of person who turns the news that it's going to rain a lot into an opportunity to sell umbrellas. You're the kind of person who doesn't cry, you sell handkerchiefs. So for you who think about business, for you who think about turning money into more money, this is our channel that I created for us to talk about exactly that. And I feel very comfortable talking to you about this here from our company in Dubai. All of this started in my life a few years ago when my office was still in Brazil. As everyone knows, I'm an accountant and I created online accounting in Brazil. And back then, when I started almost 20 years ago, my clients sold products that were imported from China, just like most of the world. China became the world's industrial park, and it was no different in Brazil. So in Brazil, my clients sold products that were imported from China, but they were buying from the 10th middleman, in some cases even the 15th, and their profit margins were very small. So what did I do? I decided to go to China to meet the suppliers, to visit the factories, to attend the Canton Fair, the biggest business fair in the world. And at that time, when I went to China, I flew with Fly Emirates and stopped here in Dubai for a layover. When I stopped here in Dubai, back then, I went to order a coffee at the airport, and the girl who sold me the coffee charged me $25 for a small cup of coffee. And I asked her jokingly, in a playful tone, if that coffee cured cancer, because at that price it must have some medical property, some medicinal quality that would justify a small cup of coffee costing $25. So that day, the man who was next to me also drinking coffee asked me where I was from. And when I told him I was from Brazil, he said he wanted to buy coffee from Brazil and asked if I would sell it to him. I replied, as any good salesman would, I said, depending on the quantity, I could sell it to you. But in reality, I was on my way to China to buy construction materials. It had nothing to do with coffee, with food or beverages. And I asked him, how much do you want? And he gave that wonderful answer that we all love to hear. What answer? Everything you are able to supply, I'll buy. That's exactly what you heard. Everything you are able to supply, I'll buy. That's how I became interested in selling Brazilian food products to the Arab world. When I got to Brazil, the amount of coffee this man wanted to buy was more than any of the factories could deliver to me that week. That's when I decided to create my own coffee brand. I went to visit the coffee farms, buying up their entire production, having it packaged, having it put into coffee bags so I could send it to the Arab world. And that's how my journey in the Arab world began. I didn't make a business plan. I didn't plan this in my life. It just happened. I simply saw an opportunity, embraced it, and things worked out. Things worked out so well that today I live in Dubai, although I also have residency in the United States, an office on Manhattan Island in New York, and I also have homes in China and Brazil, of course, because I'm Brazilian, but I spend most of my time here in Dubai. Because when it comes to selling to Dubai, the companies from the 22 Arab countries have their offices, have their businesses here in Dubai. So when you put your product here in Dubai, you are automatically placing your product in 22 Arab countries. So the sales potential is enormous. About 15 years ago, the last official census conducted 15 years ago showed that in all 22 Arab countries combined, there were 400 million inhabitants. 15 years later, that number has risen to 800 million inhabitants. This represents 3 times the population of the United States of America. In other words, it's a very large consumer market with strong purchasing power where the financial crisis is a distant concern. So, here on this channel, I want to bring you all the news, all the investment information, and show you how you can start a business and make money. Useful, high-quality information that you will receive here for free. So for that very important reason, I kindly ask you to please subscribe to our official channel and make sure to turn on all notifications so that you will always be the very first to watch all of our exciting upcoming videos. I'll also include my social media links here in the video description. I'll also add my WhatsApp number here in the video description, so if you want to get in touch with us from Dubai, you can do so. It will be a great pleasure for me to get to know you throughout this journey together. Let me know in the comments which city you're watching this video from, and thank you so much for tuning in. See you at our next meeting. See you then!